Boom, boom. This is Kenner. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a little bit of Bleach Immortal Soul today. So we have got a new character. SogyonoKotowari is who we're looking at here. So we will continue to name him Soggy for right now, since I don't want to have to print that name every time. So Soggy is who we're looking at. Now, Soggy is, of course, is a Pak2 character. You're going to look at a pretty good skill set. I mean, they're building up the actual Pak2 actual set. So, if you're looking, to do something like that, it is. But, he's not a bad character. But not exactly what I am, of course, looking for my thing. But he is a new character, which means you can use the actual Jade summons, the tokens, so you don't have to dip into your Soul Jade unless you want to. As always, he's going to be inside of the character tube here, and we'll see him. As always, new characters that come out have the new character event are listed, of course, as you'll be able to get them at 2-star right here. For 30, you get 5 stars each pool, basically 6 pools. We'll get you the character, okay? If you're going to continue to use the character, if you plan to use him, then of course you want to go more than that. But for me, I'm not going to plan on using the character. Let's go ahead and take a look a little bit at what we got in terms of that. So we've got deals damage to a single enemy with a 50% chance to paralyze a target and reduce death by 30% for 1 round. Rage deals damage to just the front row. And marks the enemy with the lowest hit points. With Tricked for 2 rounds, Tricked targets marked with Tricked receive 15% additional damage from ally attacks. Unmarked enemies receive 40% of the damage dealt to targets. Okay, only 1 enemy marked with Trick can exist at one time. So basically, only 1 character is going to be getting hit with that 15% additional damage from ally with the Trick. And then we've got basically passive attack increase, and then last but not least the passive. Rage attacks, Soggy has increased damage reduction rate, and rage attacks have 20% chance to paralyze targets. Every time an ally attacks a target marked with Trick, and again, another Trick. So, he's not a bad character, but he's not one of the top tier characters. Basically, the percentage is a little bit too low for a lot of this stuff to proc. Okay. He is a Tiger if you're looking for Tiger. He does have a pretty good talent, which increases the attack, defense, and hit points of all characters in the arena and Kenpachi contest by 3%. That arena is exceedingly good. So my suggestion would be go just enough to get the talent activated, which is 3 stars, and that's where I would stop at. Just to get the talent, a 3% increase is pretty good, but you're going to have to, but he's a UR, so getting shards for him, wasting shards, not something that you would do. But he's not a bad character. He's a support character, so he's not gonna, he's not gonna be a tank or he's not gonna be an attacker. He's just there for support. Basically, he's gonna. So I would consider him a buffer to buffer. Basically, it's sort of kind of what he is. He's not a bad character, but then again, not a top tier character. I will merely get him simply for the fact that. In the future, might need the character for the initiative phase. And plus, I don't need to use any Soul Jade to do this. I can do this straight with tokens. So let's go ahead and do the pools for him. So you can use the 10 tokens. You only need to do 6, so I only need to spend 60 of these. I don't spend my tokens during the only time I ever spend my Soul Jade tokens. I do the 1 free a day, and that's it until one of these events comes around. So there's 5. So we only need to get 30, so 6 times 5, 30 is all you need to do. But, this is nice because you can get other stuff. You can get, look, see, we got some, we got a nice QS shard there. So, you can also get Soul Jade occasionally, Omni Shards occasionally, but generally not. Mostly see Omni Shards inside of the Soul Box event. I don't see too many of them in here. But they can proc. There's 188 Soul Jade. But you do get, you can get, it's a chance to buff up your other characters as well. So we've got a decent gift box there. A Kaku. And we need to get 20. So just got Kababaru. So that's one of my characters that's in my extreme team. So that could be beneficial. Some more for Khan. I've already got Khan maxed out at 7 stars, so there's really nothing I can do for him. So I just need to do one more pull, and we'll have enough to actually do him. And there we go. So we now have the character. Okay. So got a little bit of Soul Jade out of it, which is nice. So got an Omni Shard. Like I say, you don't see those two very often at all. But the Soul Jade is nice because I'm building up Soul Jades for the next Soul Box event. And then we can, of course, get some of the shards inside of here. Okay, and always they do have the event right here. So if you do decide to go ahead and get him up, you can get the mats to take him up. If you get him up to 4-star, I believe it is. It's either 4-star. You could actually take him up to Prism Blue. Actually, I think, or no, 4-star takes him to Prism Green. They give you enough mats to go green. 5-star green. Okay. Because I did that on the last one, but I didn't quite get that 5th star for him, so I didn't get the weapon, which is really what I go for it. If you're going to go for it, you might as well go for all. You might as well go all in, because this just makes it worth it. Because you can get the actual weapon, so you get his awakening weapon right away. You can enter him and use him. So I do have the shards now, so let's go to the bag. And we can now combine him. And there he is. So we now have him. Open up my gift box here. So yeah, that's good. Now I have him, so if I do need initiative sometime in the future, I'll have it. We've got him up so we can claim this, so we can get some of the mats for him. These little mats will take him up to red 5. So this is enough mats to get him at red 5. Which is pretty good for the mats. Use them on him if you don't want to. They're just standard mats. It's enough mats to do it. So you don't have to necessarily use it on him. It's because when you open it up, if you open it up, I'll show you here. This is the amount of gold required to do it, 5.5 million. This is the experience tonics that you need to do it. This is the material pack that you would need to do it. So this is just standard material. It's not specifically assigned to him. It's just the generic mats. So basically, if you don't want to use it on him, like I'm not going to be, I'll use it on another one of my characters to get him to red 5. I've got several that I'm trying to bring up in my main team. Right now, I'm working on I finished all these. All these are done. Okay, they're back maxed out at blue too. Equipment maxed out at blue. So right now I'm working on Yamamoto because he's a member of my Dragon Extreme team. Your Extreme Challenge here. Remember, all these 4. You should have a team for each. Okay, so you're going to need basically 4 teams, 6 each, 24. So basically, that's my focus, is focusing on those 24 characters and getting them ready to advance. I'm pretty good. Once you get to 200, it starts to get hard. As long as you have a fairly decent team, you should be able to make it up to about 150, 160, maybe even 170. After that, it starts to get a little bit harder. But if you got at least a mid to high level team, you can get to 200. After that, you start getting against extremely difficult mess, and that's because the initiative switches from you having it to the enemy having it, which means you have to survive the attacks. Okay, or they analyze the opponent to the point, like Eisen in this right here was freaking ridiculous. Okay, I had Eisen back here. And he was just, he was just like 2 shots and you're dead. So basically you had to survive 2 of his rages to beat him. And once you had strong enough characters, that's what you do. I was able to beat him. And that's all it is. So, but yeah, once you get to 200, you need to have top level teams. As you can see, I'm working through it. I'm getting there. I really hadn't focused much on my exterior teams until I wanted to get my main team set focused all 6 stars. I've got that now. So now it's just what I like to call busy work, and that is keeping the characters up where they need to be. And I'll get my top 24 characters that I use inside of the things, and I'll get them up. Okay, it's pretty much these right here. It's pretty much from Kamaru up is most of what they are. Okay, that's the 24. There's some in here that there's too many, but this is basically everybody that's pretty much being used, not using you know. Okay, and then just get them all up to Prism. You know, Blue 2 is what you want to do. Okay, Blue 2 is as high as you can go at this point. The story mode hasn't been released for the next at least. Let me check. I don't know when they came out with an update. No, it's still not. 2028 has not been released yet because I'm full maxed out. So and you know, they always show when you have a next thing. See, they'd show next if it was it, and it's not showing next. So not out as of yet, but we'll keep trying to look for it. Until that time, it's just keeping everything in line with Toe and go from there. So that's what it is. So we got Treasure Trial up. I've already completed it up as high as I can go. This one doesn't open up for another 4 days. I've went back and completed some of the actual, like I got some of the chests and stuff. I got to do through it one more time here. I haven't had a chance to go through some of these. But yeah, run through it fine. Didn't have much trouble. But yeah, they're high, I know, but you got the initiative, so that's try to take some dragons in there, tigers in there. You get the first shot, take out as many as you can. If you do dragons, as I showed in the last video, dragons with maxed out their soul, maxed out soul, which is this one here under the war soul. This right here, max this out. This gives them enough rage to immediately rage at the beginning. So if you have dragons in there and this is maxed out, they automatically have enough rage to first right out of the gate they're going to rage. So they're going to hit the opposing team. If you can knock down 3 or 4 of them, then you can survive the comeback, even though they're probably a good 50 to 60, maybe even 70 to 80,000 more BP. But you can still beat them because of that. And that's the way it was with me. I killed like 3 or 4, and then the others just wiped them out on the second round. You know, I haven't even lost anybody yet. But you know, I'm only halfway through, so at the other half, it'll get hard at the end. Usually the last 2 are a pretty tough team. I've managed to beat them all except once. There was one time where I couldn't get past the last team. It was close, but I just couldn't quite do it. I don't have that problem now because I've got the War Soul of Healing, so I usually am able to outlast them. But yeah, so that's all. So go ahead and pull for him if you're new to the game, you know, and you got a lot of tokens. Yeah, you know, go ahead and give him a try. But like I say, he's not yet. He's an okay character, but not one of the, I don't consider him to be top tier. He's a buffer basically. That helps in this game. He's got a little bit of damage, but you know, the 50s and 40% chances for procs on that is just not enough to really worry about, because you're putting somebody in here like that, a support character, when you could be using an attacker who would deal a lot of damage. You could be using a tank who's basically on survivability. If you got a War Soul of Healing, you should be covered for your healing. So this, you know, there's not a whole lot of characters that this, but you know, he might be helpful, especially if you're a new team and it's a UR character. And if you get him a lot, you can get all the mats, you know, to make him and get his weapon. You know, he could be one of your top characters. You know, he might be like a Yukui who starts topping off back towards end game. He starts to wean off, and you won't see him in any of the end game teams. But for you know, him and Kenpachi up until the very, you know, towards the very end, I used both of them. I don't have either of them in my team now because I've got much better. But you know, if you're just starting out in the game or you're new to it, go for it. Okay, something that you might, you know, it's a chance to get the mats and the weapon and all the tombs and the source. I mean, this right here is everything you need to, you know, make him fully and completely ready at 5 stars. You can start him at 4 stars because you just need to get the passive active. The passive is active at 4, so you can start him there. But if you go to 5, you get the weapon. That's what I try to do with That's what I tried to do with where was that? Murmasa right here. I didn't quite get to it. I came up short. I did not have enough. It did not have enough to actually get him, but I got real close. Okay, I'm actually, I'm actually at 4-star, so I had enough mats to get him up. So he's maxed. Everything's maxed and ready to go. He's a back straight goes straight to the back line for his attack. So he's in my elite team. Okay, so I do use him. So that's why I got him up full. I had an SR character, believe it or not, in my extreme team. So I needed another dragon to bring my team up to where it was, so that I could have a full set of dragons that were, UR or SSR. I didn't want an SR in my team. Even an SR, even a maxed out SR is not going to be comparable to a 4-star UR with full set of gear and war souls and stuff. So I went ahead and put him on there. So that's what so it helped immediately. I noticed it enabled me to get over the hump. I had a hump on the extreme team. Could not get over that extreme challenge for the dragon. I could not get past. I could not get past. I think it was 210. Yeah, I think it was 210, and I couldn't get past it. As you can see, I've already made it up to 220, but I couldn't get past it. It was it might have been 215. It was 210 or 2. I think it might have been 215 actually. And I couldn't get over it, and basically getting Miramasa, I was able to actually beat it barely, but that's all you have to do is barely, and then proceeded on after that with him. So so that's something to look at too if you're lacking on your extreme challenge. Having a 4-star UR in there is sometimes better than having one of the SRs. Probably not a maxed out SSR, but a maxed out SR, yeah. So that's something to look at as well. All right, so that's all there is to it. That's all that's up. So we got a treasure child and we got the new character. It's going to be up for 3 days, and of course, as always, there are Soul Jade rebates. If you start pulling Soul Jade out, you can get some of that. Stamina shopping spree. Of course, we got the minus. You can use some gold, because if you level up the character, you're going to be using some gold. So all that stuff is in here as always. They've also got a battle arena going off, so if you chance to get some tokens if you need some of those. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Nothing else going on at this point, but I did want to go ahead and talk about him since he is not that bad of a character. But yeah, so that's something I'm going to go for at this point. So that's it. So I do got him, so I'm happy. All right. So thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, to see the bell, click on it. You get notified each time I drop a video. You also remember to like and share, as that helps the channel immensely as well. Kenrir, coming at you from the corner, signing out.